Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another video. Today is your girl, Kia Naomi. This is a place where faith meets reality, and Jesus is always at the center. Here I share real life testimonies, godly wisdom, there's a hair in my eye, and encouragement to help you go in truth and with grace. So if you're here for the real talk, purposeful living, and of course Jesus Christ, then you are in the right place. You're right where you belong. This topic is a bit different, and this is catered mainly to my young women out there who are into dating or thinking of dating someone much older. When I mean older, I mean where there's like a huge age gap. And this video is also catered to those that are like maybe, I would say, 25 and below. And the reason why I wanted to share this, do this video is because this is something this was where I once was, where I dated someone that was 11 years older than me. Yeah. The ghetto. These are things that I've learned over the years of being with someone that was way older than me. And also this is just to share and to just give my honest advice to my young women out there, especially if you're much younger than I am. I'm in my 30s, guys, so those that are much younger, like, I see as my little sisters. I have sisters much younger than me. My one after me is like, what, 28? The other one is 21, right? So if you're younger than 25, you're considered, you're like a little sister to me. So I wanted to share this because I know how some people, women especially, I'm going to speak from women's side because I can't really say much for men, but if you're a man and you can relate to this, maybe this video is for you as well. Some women, we think that, oh, dating someone older is so much better, right? Because men our age are not mature. I'm not mature enough for us. This, just to give my quick disclaimer, this is not to tell you what to do with your life. I'm only here to share my opinion on this situation and to share my advice as a big sister who's been there once upon a time, right? And how to date wise as a Christian. So, I always tell people, allow the Holy Spirit to guide you in this point of your life, especially if this is something that is like your focus is like being with someone that is much older than you, then this video is definitely for you. Some men intentionally pursue young women because they know she's still growing, she's still learning. In the eyes of those type of men, you're still kind of like a baby to them. And babies are like sponge. They can easily adapt. They can easily learn from adults or those around them, right? Certain men pursue younger women because they know that they're still growing emotionally, physically, mentally, even spiritually. The Bible warns us about wolves in sheep's clothing, okay, which is number one key verse of today. And you'd find this in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 15, okay? These are people who take advantage of the innocence of young women. Now I can see my cat is trying to leave. Do you want to go, babes? Go. Yeah, so that's that. This isn't just about age gap in a healthy adult relationship. This is about a predatory behavior targeting youth, targeting young women especially. For example, let me put myself an example. I can be 30 and date a guy that is 40, and that's fine, right? Because I'm at a point of maturity. I know what I want. I have my own set values, morals. I have a purpose in life. I know where I'm going, right? And I might date a man who's like 10 years older than me, and he's straight out dedicated. He knows what he wants. He's serious. He's committed, right? So you are wiser, right? Once you hit a certain age, you are wiser. Unfortunately, like I always say, sometimes for some people, maturity doesn't always come with age. So you always have to be careful of the type of people that come shaped, dressed in sheep's clothing, saying that they're serious about you, saying that they want to have something serious with you, but deep down inside they basically just want to suck the energy, suck the life out of you, suck their life out of you, out of your youth. This leads me to my first point, okay, is grooming and manipulation. The enemy's loves subtle tricks. Satan masquerades as the angel of light, and you find this in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Just like the enemy, he appears as caring. He will love bomb you, show you all, like meet all your desires, right? Meet all your needs, give you gifts, shower you with attention. Maybe you've been lacking male attention in your life, for example. Maybe your father wasn't around, maybe a male figure in your life wasn't present in your life, and that's all you wanted is that attention, that affection from a male figure. And this person comes into your life and he shows you just that, right? He makes you feel like you're the one. He makes you feel chosen, like, yes, you belong to him. He makes you feel like even if there's so many women around him, his eyes is always on you, right? He makes you feel wanted. He makes you feel chosen. Love bombs you, like I mentioned earlier, love bombs you to the point where it feels too good to be true. He takes all the white boxes and you're like, he has to be the one, right? But then once he gains you, once he gains your full trust, once he gains your attention, and he draws you closer to him, he gains control. The closer you get to him, closer he is to gain control in your life through fear and through guilt. He will make you feel like crap. He will blame things on you and say that, oh, it's because of you, this and that and the third. This happened because of you. Like, he'll gaslight you, manipulate you to make you be filled with guilt, right? He will inflict fear in your life to the point where you'd be too afraid to leave that relationship because you're thinking, if I leave, he could do something to me or anything of that sort. Or he'll make you feel like, oh, there's no one out there for you. You belong to me. What guy's going to be with someone like you? Make you feel like you're better off with him than with another person. It's like my ex said, I can't believe he said this as well. He was like, it is better to be with a demon that you know than a demon that you don't know. Make that make sense? Yes, unfortunately, there are men that have that kind of mindset. Unequally yoked powers equals spiritual trap. When the Bible talks about do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever, it's not just talking about those that are straight out not a Christian, but he also talks about those that maybe claim to be a Christian. I do this because you can be a Christian, I can be a Christian, this person can be a Christian, but our lives, our purpose, our values don't align, okay? And it goes for just even those that claim to be Christians, right? Just because they are a Christian does not mean they are for you, right? And this is the mistake that I made, because when I was dating, I thought, oh, he's a Christian, I'm a Christian, great. We can get together, everything will be just great. But that's not how things work, right? And especially because we were complete different direction. Me and this person was going on a different direction. We were not in sync at all. For me personally, I felt spiritually trapped because I was like, this isn't taking me anywhere. At the age that you're in, let's say from the age of 18 to 25, right? You're still discovering yourself, even though you think, oh, we're mature, we're wise and all that stuff. You're still kind of figuring yourself out. You're still trying to get to know the person that you are. And especially as a Christian, right? You're still learning, in your own walk, in your own journey with God, right? Keep in mind, you're still learning, right? You're still growing spiritually, mentally, emotionally. But let's not forget, this person that is seeking to be with you, he's got more experiences than you do. So he knows his way around things. He knows the ropes. He knows the shortcuts. He knows it all. He has experiences. He will use his experiences. He will use his money. That's if he has money, of course. He will claim to be a believer, but his actions speaks otherwise. And obviously, he will also use his confidence to lure you into the trap of the enemy, to make you dependent on him rather than dependent on God. This person is trying to convince you or to rebel against a parent. Let's say you live under your parents' roof, right? He's convincing you to rebel against your parents. Oh, you can do what you want, like you can live your life. You are grown, you are an adult, you can do what you want to do. Why do you still have to depend on your parents on whether, things of that sort. They'll make you feel like you need to rebel against your parents, for example, right? Or he'll say, oh, you can come and live with me, at least you'll be free, and this and that and the third, basically to lure you into the trap. So then you would then leave your parents, move in with him, and then he's got you at the palm of his hand, and you're basically trapped in his house. And then next thing you know, he's going to stop you from contacting your parents, he's going to stop you from contacting your friends, he's going to stop you from leaving the house, make you a maid, make you a slave in his house. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character, because his character is going to corrupt you. If you have a good character, his company, him being around you, him being in your circle, in your presence, is going to corrupt your good character eventually. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 33. Now, this leads me to my part 3, and that is the sexual pleasure. Yes, you heard that correctly. Sexual pleasure equals Satan's strategy to shame. He will push you into intimacy. A person who's older than you would push you into intimacy, and especially if you're not ready for that kind of stuff. Especially if you're someone that's like, oh, I want to wait into marriage. I don't want to do this right now, like it's still too soon, blah, 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 blah. He will convince you, entice you, maybe tell you, oh, don't worry, I'm going to marry you. Trust and believe, you and I were going to get married, this and that and the third. Give you all these false promises that's probably never going to happen, just to get you trapped. And then you believe him and you trust him. You're like, are you sure you're going to really marry me? And he's going to be like, yes, trust and believe, I'm going to marry you. He will use shame to control you. Makes you feel like you are an alien for wanting to stay pure, okay? Because he's going to say stuff like, oh, everyone's doing it, so there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you ask God to forgive you, that's totally fine. He'll make you feel like you're in the wrong. Convinces you that it's okay to do this because everyone is doing it, okay? Just because everyone is doing it, sweetie, that doesn't make it right, okay? So always remember that. Just because let's say if everyone is taking drugs, that doesn't mean that you should be taking drugs as well. Each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3-4. God created purity to protect your heart as a woman, to protect your heart, not to restrict it. And this leads me to my 4th point, and that is isolation from family and faith community. He convinces you they are just jealous of our love. They are just jealous of our relationship. Don't listen to them. The more you spend time with that person, the less time you spend with God. If you're spending less time with God, then that's already an indication that this relationship isn't going to take you anywhere. If either of them falls, one can help the other. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9-10. If he cuts off godly counsels, it's a spiritual danger. He's putting you in a very dangerous, vulnerable position as a child of God. He's putting you at the trap of the enemy. Let me tell you guys a quick story. There's a story of a girl who was dating this guy briefly, and he started exhibiting some very questionable behaviors, right? Which was kind of alarming, but she tried to brush it aside. One time, this girl calls her sister just to check up on her. The guy cusses her out, tells her it is disrespectful to speak to people in my presence. He really did say that. and forced her to hang up the phone. And she didn't tell her sister this because she knew her sister was going to get pissed off. But eventually she did because she knew this wasn't right. And obviously the sister, rightfully so, she got pissed off as well. She was like, are you kidding me? Is that what he said? Best believe that relationship didn't last that long. She broke off not long after that, okay? She blocked him and she never looked back. Yes, when you are with someone that wants to control your every move, that's a huge red flag. And that tends to happen with men who are older, who only prey on younger women. Of all the women out there in the world that are literally their age mate, why would he just date someone much younger than me? You have to look at the history of the type of people or the type of women this man is dating. He's avoiding the ones that are his age mate and rather going for the younger ones, right? And we're not even talking, let's say he's 40 and the young one is like 30. No, he's still 40 and he's dating an 18-year-old. What does an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old and a 40-year-old have in common? There's a mismatch there. I'm 30 and I cannot see myself being friends with someone who's 18, whose mindset are still in a stage of teen. Like they're not thinking, they still have a lot of growing up to do, right? I can't sit here and kicking a ha-haring conversation with an 18-year-old at the age of 30. It doesn't make sense, right? So like sometimes even just hearing 18-year-olds speak, I get headache. I'm just like, what the heck is this, right? And I'm thinking, okay, but you're 40 and she's 80. What do you guys have in common? Think about it, guys. Think about it. Stolen purpose and destiny. Whilst her peers are growing in school, calling, friendship, she is too busy managing a man's insecurities and sin. You're out here breaking your back for a relationship that isn't worth breaking your back for. Over a man that is twice your age, that is 10 years your age, twice your age, right? And rather than focusing on things that you need to be focusing on, such as school, such as your calling, such as your friendship, your personal journey, you're putting all that aside for a man that's literally sucking the youth out of you. You know, no, I love my man, I can change him. And I've said this many times before, you can't change a man, only Jesus can. And I never advise anyone to try to make it a mission to change a man, and especially if that man is not willing to change. It is not in your position. Yeah, sure, you can advise them, you can encourage them, you can motivate them, but there's only so much you could do as a human being who still has her own stuff to deal with, right? At the end of the day, like I always say, you do what you can, but you leave the rest to God. If it gets to the point where it's like you're helping this person, but in return you're finding yourself being drained in the process of it, then maybe you should reconsider letting this go, because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not healthy, it's not normal, and it's definitely, most definitely, it's not godly. Okay, some men are a stumbling block in your life, your destiny, your purpose, and the sooner you realize this, the better for you. For I know the plans I have for you. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. The enemy loves to interfere with God's timing. Let me give you guys an example about myself, right? I was in a relationship with this guy for about 6 years, roughly 6 whole years. And for the 6 whole years, I was stuck in limbo. Yes, you heard that correctly. I was stuck. I was spiritually stagnant. I had nowhere. I was not going anywhere. Every time I take 2 steps forward, I end up taking 10 steps back. Yes. There were times when I felt like I was becoming someone that I was not. I was changing my outfits just to please the person. I was wearing more makeup than I should just to make myself look pretty in front of him. I would agree with things that he agreed on. He agreed on, even though deep in my heart, I knew his opinion was straight out weird, concerning. Um, and mind you, he was one of those people that actually believed that R. Kelly is innocent. Now, I never agreed with him with that part, because that was questionable. But you would think that would give me the reason to leave, right? But anyways, let's just keep that at that. I would even support Arsenal for the sake of supporting, even though I don't care for football like that, right? I was really shaping my life according to this person. I was really stagnant, guys. I was stuck in one position, and my life was just not going anywhere. Like, I really did not know where this was going. I didn't know where the relationship was going. My life was being sucked out of me. And I didn't realize it until later on, right? I didn't realize it until later on. And I was just like, I just wasn't doing well. And anyways, I have a story on my red flags in that relationship, right? But anyways, moving on to me coming out of that relationship, guys, when I tell you I had achieved, glory be to God, I have achieved so much more in life in the space of more than 3 years since being out of that relationship than I have ever had achieved in the 6 years I was with that individual. And this is why I tell you, sometimes certain people that come into your life, certain men especially, they come into your life to block your blessings, to really be a stumbling block in your life and your calling and your purpose. Because tell me why, after I had left that relationship, not long after that, I think I just got I was employed into a new job. This was at another hotel, right? Within 6 months, I got given the opportunity to work as a night duty manager, right? So I worked as a night duty manager for like I think more than a year and a half or so at this point, right? Maybe even 2 years at this point. I became a manager, and I never thought I even had the ability to be a manager, because I've always said I can never be a manager. I just cannot, right? But I was also the same God. I was like, if I could be a manager, I would treat people with respect, right? And funny enough, God was like, oh, really? Wait until I bless you with this management position. And I got a management role. I was like, raw, I can't believe I'm actually a manager. Now, I get promoted as a night manager, right? My spiritual grew quite a bit. Yeah, so I had some sort of hiccups here and there, had some few challenges, along the way. I mean, what Christian, who doesn't, right? But compared to when I was in a relationship, I have a better relationship with God now than I did then, right? So that's another aspect. I think clearly with discernment, common sense, I am wiser, I am stronger, at peace, I'm free, I'm at peace, I am doing a lot more, I am doing a lot better now than I was then, right? And let me not forget, I'm also making Christian YouTube videos. I would have never been able to do these types of video if I was in a relationship. In fact, I don't even think I would even have the confidence to be talking about God the way I do now if I was in a relationship, right? So all of this, in order for everything to happen, in order for me to walk into my calling, I had to let go of what was holding me back. I had to get out of what was holding me back, and that was the relationship, and especially with someone that was 10, 11 years older than me. But you know his mind wasn't his mind wasn't to have a future with me. It was just to have me there for whatever reason, I don't really know. only God knows, and to just keep me around and use me for whatever he needed to use me for. And then yeah, that was that. But God had to like drag me out of that relationship, and he was like, yeah, this is too much. You need to get out. All to say, I was able to walk in my purpose, in my calling, ever since coming out of that relationship. Because I would have never been able to do that. I would have never been able to make a video like this. I would have never been able to even have a channel to begin with if I was still in that relationship, right? This leads me to, number 6, and that is the emotional and the spiritual wounds. These relationships often ends with broken trust. It ends with self-blame, it ends with trauma, it ends with distance from God. Now, this can happen. Now, lucky for me, funny enough, when I got out of the relationship, it actually, what I went through, the anger and the pain and all of that stuff I went through, it actually eventually pulled me towards God, right? Because I knew at this point I needed him in my life. At this point, I think I just gave him my life. Like I mentioned in my video, I became a Christian, born again Christian, and I actually wanted to have a personal relationship with him. So being out of that relationship gave me like was like the best opportunity for me to just start right with God, right? But in many cases, when you get into such a toxic relationship like this, where the age gap is huge, it can leave you feeling distant from God, right? But the best part about this is that, God can restore everything that was stolen from you. Perhaps you are blessed with, I don't know, you have a gift, you have a calling, maybe there's a business plan that you've been wanting to do, but you never got the chance to do it, right? He can restore everything that was stolen from you. So within a couple of months, you might find yourself starting up your business and doing well, right? Everything that was taken from you, your gift, your possession, your crown, your stars, will return to you sevenfold, right? What you weren't able to achieve during the time that you were with that person, you will be able to achieve it on your own, with God by your side, of course, like that, right? Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, because you're going to have to, work and grind to get to where you want to be. Work on your own personal relationship with God as well. Work on yourself, self-respect, work on your self-esteem, be more secure in yourself. But over time, it will come to you. It came to me. I got a job. I became a manager 6 months later. I'm now in a position where I'm working now. I know I said in one of my videos that I'm currently jobless. That video I kind of filmed that like couple of weeks prior. I didn't know I was going to be working at that point, right? But I'm currently working now, and I'm working again. I'm still a manager, but I'm working during the daytime, because I'm not doing any more nights. But anyways, God will always make a way. He will always open doors for you. So always remember that, okay? If you are going through brokenhearted, if you feel like you can never trust anyone again, God can restore your heart. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalms chapter 147, verse 3. Why does he want someone young, you might ask? Well, here's the truth. He doesn't want a woman who can see his red flags, because someone my age, for example, might see his foolery and be like, yeah, I sign out, deuces, right? In a younger woman, let's say someone who's like 18 or 19, they might see it and might not think there's anything wrong with that. Or they might brush it aside and be like, oh, I can change him, or, he will come around and things of that nature, right? He wants someone who can't defend herself spiritually, especially. If he really respects your calling, he would protect your purity and growth and not prey on it. Meaning he would leave you alone, because what has someone who's like 10 or 11 years older than you, and you're just coming out of being a teen, what do two have in common? What love should look like, you might ask? Well, real love honors God. That's the number one thing. It honors God. It respects boundaries. It encourages growth. And it also values your future. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. If he's pressuring, rushing, or even hiding the relationship, that is not love. That's bondage. If to meet your family and to show his intentions towards you is an issue, then that is a red flag in itself. And this is my final advice, if not a warning, to anyone, young ladies watching this, right? If a grown man wants a woman who's not fully grown yet, whether mentally, whether emotionally, whether spiritually even, he is not mature himself. He is manipulative. They will only be with you for a while. They will keep you there on the side and then dump you once you become of mature age or when they feel like they no longer are in need of you, and they will find the next victim to prey on. They will treat you like trash. They will treat you like a property whilst probably even sleeping around with another younger victim. In most cases, you're probably not the only girl that he's dealing with. No man in their right mind would want to be with someone that is way too young, inexperienced, right? No man in their right senses would be with a woman that is inexperienced. Personally, I'm not against dating age gap. If you are someone that is at of the age of 25, I would even say 25, I'll stretch it to 28 to maybe 30 and then upwards, and then being with someone that's like a couple of years, about 10 years older than you, right? You still have a lot of growing up to do. You still have a lot of learning to do. So focus on that. Focus on your own personal journey and leave the rest to God. If you have desires of getting married, do not worry. God will make a way for the partner of your life to find you. I know we as women, we believe that, we should be with someone that is older because they're maturer, they're wiser. But you also have to remember you're still very inexperienced and still growing, right? And also, like I mentioned, just because they are older does not mean that they are wiser. Not all older people are wise. Not all older people have common sense. Some are so immature for the age to the point where it's actually concerning, right? Unfortunately for me, I fell into that trap because I was with someone that was 11 years older than me, like I mentioned earlier. And I thought I knew better as a 21-year-old, but now at my 30, looking back at 21, I was far from mature, way too far from mature. I knew nothing about relationship, and if anything, I did not know that you can be with someone that is older than you and yet still feel trapped in a relationship with someone who you think, oh, they're mature, but they're really not all that. You know, I was naive, I was gullible, I was there, guys, and that's why I'm sharing this, because I want you guys to see some people will literally suck the life out of you. They can sniff your insecurities and be like, yes, I found her, I'm gonna use her. Don't be a victim, guys. Do not allow yourself to be a victim of their plan. I always say this: ask the Holy Spirit to help you, invite him in, ask him if this person that I am dating or getting to know, if he is the right one for me. Be patient and allow the Holy Spirit to show you the way, and he will show you one way or another. Don't rush into a relationship that will only hold you a few steps back, okay? But rather focus on the eyes of God, and you will see the truth when it comes to that person's intentions towards you. If he cares for your destiny, if he cares about your destiny, if he cares about your purpose, he would wait for you to grow into it. So always remember that. Wake up, see the red flags, and run for the hills. And that is pretty much the end of my video, but I will say this: protect your heart, protect your calling, choose the one who chose you first, and that is Jesus Christ himself. And that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed, learned something from this video. I hope this has spoken to your heart, and if it has, please do give me a thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe, guys. Keep walking in faith, stay rooted in the word of God. So please do read the Bible, and remember that your life story is still being written by the author of life. Yes, I will leave you guys to my beautiful souls, my beautiful people all around the world. And yeah, you guys take care, stay blessed, and remember one thing, guys: Jesus really and truly loves you. Don't keep him waiting.